helped save a life. Or perhaps helped keep a watchful eye on a neighborhood. Today, you probably helped put food on someone's table. Or help build a road that leads to a destiny. You may have even helped shape the minds of our future. By paying your taxes, you help keep critical medical staff in a job, a school to run, or a neighborhood safe, and a whole lot more. Your taxes help Zambia become better for you and me. Zambia Revenue Authority. My tax, your tax, our destiny.
Hello, welcome to Tax Chat. Thank you for joining us again. On today's chat, we are going to talk about the procedures undertaken by ZRA to recover debts owed by taxpayers to the government. And to help us look at this today is Mr. Matthews Kumwenda, a senior tax consultant from Zambia Revenue Authority. Mr. Kumwenda, welcome and good to have you back on Tax Chat.
Thank you very much, Alice. It's always a privilege for us to be here, and I must say that we are overjoyed. We have great joy in our hearts as an institution to once again partner with Lumen TV to help us disseminate tax information to the public. I must also recognize our viewers and listeners out there, people that are sparing time, people that are taking time to join us on this platform where we are able to interact with them, where we are able to share tax information with them for the benefit of this nation. So it is a privilege, and I'm glad, very happy to be on the platform once again. Thank you, Alice.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Kumwenda. Tikafunza kapena mkulondolola wa Mr. Kumwenda. What is debt au kapena nkongole ni chani?
Thank you, Alice. First, I want to make it very clear, because sometimes the pronunciation of that word causes confusion in the minds of the taxpayers when they hear debt. Is it debt ya monthly, debt ya rekutile, debt ni pa 80 or ni debt ya bwanji? So the debt that we are talking about is actually spelled DEBT. Ni debt yotandauza nkongore kuti muntu ana nkongore. Ndiye debt ametikamba hapo, noti debt kuti lero tili mwezi bwanji o lero mzua bwanji. So debt ametikamba hapo ni debt ya nkongole. So what is debt? Alice, debt simply means that you are owing. Debt itandauza kuti muli na nkongole kungankale kumuntu o muli na nkongole kuboma kulingana na topiki yamene tikambapo lero. So ni nkongole ndiye debt. Debt ni nkongole.
Okay. What constitutes debt in as far as ZRA is concerned?
Thank you. So Alice, very important for you and me and our listeners, viewers out there to understand, if we are going to say Alice is owing government, what is it that we look at? Now, we have to look at how do you, for you Alice, if you are going to get into debt or you owe Mr. Kumwenda, you will come to me and borrow money. Say, Mr. Kumwenda, borrow me 500 kwacha, I will give you back next week. Next week passes, you don't give me the 500 kwacha. Another month passes, you don't give me the money. You start owing me now. You have gotten into debt. But then, how does a taxpayer, how do you and me start owing ZRA, start owing government? So, Alice, we must know that our taxpayers that are in business, our taxpayers that import or export things, they have tax obligations that they need to meet. So, for example, if you're in business, Alice, you must have your business registered. You also need to register for the correct tax types. Now, if you have registered for correct tax types, Alice, and then you make declarations of the income that you have made, and there is unexpected tax that you must pay, and that tax is not paid, that becomes debt. You have declared to say in the month of April, I made the 1,000 kwacha, and I am on turnover tax, which is charged at the rate of 5%, and the 5% of 1,000 kwacha, let's say it translates to 50 kwacha, and you don't pay that 50 kwacha when the time of payment is due. You don't pay it, that becomes the debt. So we can have taxpayers accruing debt with a ZRA for taxes that have not been paid. We can also have taxpayers accruing debt for filing their returns late. So they've been penalized, they've been charged the penalty for filing their returns late. They have penalties being charged on their account. And when those penalties are not paid, you start owing government. You start to accrue nkongole. You also be charged interest, Alice, if you have not filed your returns on time, you have not paid your taxes on time, interest is going to be charged. And when all these liabilities are not settled within their due date, then you will start owing. So this month you haven't met your tax obligations, next month again you do the same, then you will start to accrue debt and you may end up getting into huge debts. Now, let me explain this, Alice. ZRA, number one, is not interested in seeing taxpayers accruing debt with the institution or with government. We do not take pleasure as an institution to see a taxpayer start to accrue debt on their account. Ndekani nikambe mchinyanja. Vantu vafunika kuziva kuti sicho kondweresa kuli ife kunkhala wa ZRA kuti tiyambe kuona vantu vamba kungena mngongole na boma. Izi ngongole zamba nongala monga futi yangamonga nikarova chikopangala interest yangala charged pa ma accounts. Stifuna kuona zaso pa ma accounts ya vantu. But the law has provided for penalties and interest to be charged to taxpayers that are not compliant with the tax laws. But then what do we need to do, Alice? First, as an institution, that's the reason why we are riding on this platform, to speak to our taxpayers, to tell them that debt is not a good thing. Even just at the family setup at home. When you are in debt, every now and then your neighbors are coming to knock to ask for their money. You have no peace. You can't have peace. Panga padde mtendere. Na vana vamba kuziva. Ushita kubauza vana kutuno wakabera wachite mauze kutuno wadadisi walipo. Wana wamamisi walipo. Mangalidwe yaso siyafunika. Na kuboma na nchimozi mozi. Stile ngare buno kukala vantu tiamba kutara. Kuita boma chikuwa chango ngore. Zameni tili nazo kuboma. Tizanga atilibe mtendere na boma. So we can avoid these things. But like we said, if you don't file your returns, you don't pay your taxes, you will end up accruing liabilities which will turn into debt, and then you start to have challenges as a taxpayer. And then we want you to know, as our taxpayers, that we will never be happy. What saddens you also saddens us. When we see you sad, when we see you crying over these debts, we also feel sorry. We will never take pleasure as an institution to see you start accruing debt on your account.
Mr. Kumwinda, kuri bamene ma taxpayers bamene bamachita o government taxes.
So tifunse mwachidure futi kuti kodi waliko vantu wamene walina nkongole kuboma. Ndife vambiri. Alice, ndife vambiri bamene tilina nkongole kuboma. So mwamene takambira kuti ushaizi nkongole zimabwera bwanji. Muzapeza muntu analembesa kuti ine ndifuna nizilipira msonkho kuboma ayibalako kuti analembesa ayibalako aende gona asiya kuchita vintu vamene afunika kuzichita on a monthly basis ayibalako nkhongole zamba kuchita akulu pali account yawo ja munthu. So ndife bambiri vamene tili na nkhongole kuboma manje funso nyakuti ngachite bwanji. I think on this platform, Alice, we have been encouraging our taxpayers to know that ZRA is like a hospital. Alice, when you are sick, you don't avoid the hospital. You run to the hospital. That same applies to the way the institution is. When you know that you have got outstanding obligations, don't shy away. Don't go and hide yourself. Come in the open. Come forward and say, these are the issues that I have. How best can you help me? And we will be there to assist you. So yes, indeed, we have many of our people that are owing government in taxes that are outstanding, taxes which they need to pay.
Tichitako explain pali ma taxpayers vamene vaina nkongole kuli government. Mfunzo inangu ni yakuti nga government ichita bwanji kuti ichite recover kapena ndalama yamene
bantu bafunika kulipia. Zikomo kwambiri Alisi. Chilimunga panimba kaoloi mwalisi mkanikongolesa ine ndalama. Maona tabi mene namstand promise kuti nizalipira walisi sinilipira. Muzafuna kupeza njira yamene muzachitamo recover ija ndalama. Kapina mikandalama kapina mwenzi mnasunga mene wakuti no mwana wanga poenda skulu ndeka ndalama kenza mpasa. Na nthawi yose gulu ya maskulu ya Afrika namba kuvuta ine kuti mpasa njandalama. Muzafuna mupeze njira yamene muzapokeramu ija ndalama. Chimozi na boma na eve inasakira njira yamene ingatengeremo izi nkhongole ku bantu bamene bali na nkhongole ku boma. Kodi izi njira ni njira zotani Alisi? Njira yoyamba ni yakuti boma manje ina fakako department institution kwatu. Department yamene nchito yawo niyo pinda nkhongole. So for our colleagues that may not be too familiar with Nyanja, what we are trying to say is that government has put up mechanisms on how they can recover debt taxpayers owe to government. What have they done? Number one, we have a department in our institution in ZRA whose mandate is to collect this debt which taxpayers are owing government. This department is called the Debt Recovery Unit. So we have a dedicated department that is making follow-ups on debt and also ensuring that the government recovers that debt. But what else has government done? Alice, for your own information and for the benefit of our listeners and our viewers out there, they need to know that government has now appointed government institutions as third-party tax collecting agents. Now, what do we mean when we say government has appointed public institutions, ministries as third-party tax collecting agents? It simply means that if you, Alice, are going to do business with a government institution, before they can pay what is due to you, they will first have to look at, are you owing anything to government? Are you owing anything in taxes? So how do they do that? We call that process a garnishing. I am sure you have heard about taxpayers complaining, crying, to say, no, I did a job with a certain company, government institution, and I was expecting 20,000, they only paid me 13,000, 7,000 was garnished from my account. So a garnish is just a tool that we use to collect debt. So how is this done? We tell institutions that are supposed to pay you that before they can pay you, first they need to send your details to ZRA for what we call compliance vetting.
Okay.
So let's say you have supplied things to ZRA yourself, Alice. Before we pay Alice, we will first do a compliance vetting to see whether Alice owes government in taxes. And if you do, we will deduct a certain amount of money from your expected payment. Now, when you look at this process, Alice, it becomes an inconvenience to a taxpayer. You are expecting 100,000, then they pay you 60,000. How do you feel? You'd feel frustrated, isn't it? You'd feel sad. And so that's the reason why we are saying, let's do the correct things. Let's not allow ourselves to accumulate debt with government in taxes, because then when it comes to receiving your payments from all the public and government institutions, you will be subjected to a compliance vetting, and we will recover at source the monies that are supposed to be paid to you. We can avoid that.
Okay. What effect does debt have on a taxpayer?
Excellent question, Alice. One may want to say, no, but if I am owing government, how does it affect me? Let me put it this way to you, Alice. If you owe me money, what effect does it have on you? Number one, you have no peace.
You have no peace, yes.
You have no peace. You'll be running away from me. That same applies to taxpayers. When they see Mr. Kumwenda dressed in a ZRA shirt approaching their shop, they are thinking otherwise. Say, no, maybe Mr. Kumwenda has come to close our shop because of the debt that we are owing government. We do not want people to get into those panic modes. So you have no peace of mind as a taxpayer. What other effect, Alice, would you have when you owe government? Alice, if I am a bad debtor, I don't pay my debt, are you going to give me more money next time when I'm in trouble? You can't. So for taxpayers, it simply means even business. They lose business with government. We can't give them business. No public institution, no government institution will give a taxpayer business that is in debt with government. So you lose out on business. Also, your reputation, Alice, is tarnished. If you are going to go from house to house to say, Mr. Kumwenda, I gave you money and he doesn't pay back, my image is being tarnished in the community. And so even for our taxpayers, in the business world, in the business environment, their image, their reputation is being tarnished, which will not be good enough for a business. And so we can do good as taxpayers. We can avoid these things or by doing the correct things.
Okay. You are watching Tax Chat ZRA. For now, we go on a short break. We'll be right back.
Hello, Magamba, Yashani. What Mangwasha so sure? You can't leave me behind like this. You move, we know. Nikamba naiwe. You don't realize that by taking your receipt, you are ensuring a fair playing field for businesses and their tax obligations. Take me with you, Iwe.
By ensuring we receive a receipt every time we make a purchase, we're ensuring that businesses honor their tax obligations.
Zambia Revenue Authority. My tax, your tax, our destiny.
Hello?
Hello.
I'm Keken.
Oh, Wesindina, I'm Keken.
I'm Keken, it's now your choke, I'm a teacher's newspaper.
Oh, Baba Sanga newspaper. Ilipo zina. Oh, Mlungu wanga ine.
The taxes we pay not only go to improve the lives of others, but our lives as well. Because whatever we put into the world comes right back to us. Do the right thing, pay your taxes, and watch them work for you.
Zambia Revenue Authority. My tax, your tax, our destiny.
Tired of long queues and endless paperwork? We are too. Pay your taxes using e-payment. Zambia Revenue Authority, working to serve you efficiently.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you are watching Tax Chat, and today on the chat we are looking at debt recovery procedures, and to help us look at this is Mr. Matthews Kumwenda, a senior tax consultant from Zambia Revenue Authority. Mr. Kumwenda, question inangu kapena funzo inangu ni yakuti government imankala affected bwanji na nkongole ya taxpayers yamini imankala na hevi.
Funzo ya bwino maningi Alice, kuona pa example yamene zinapasa poyamba yakuti imwe balisi ngati mweze munasunga kandalama ka mwana wa kusukulu mwatenga kaja kandalama mwanikongolesa ine tamverana na date yakuti balisi nzaka mpasani ndalama pa month end yafika ija ndalama ine sinipereka na nthawi yose gulira mwana wa skulu yafika imwe mzankhala mavuto kuti manje msakile ndalama inangu ya uja mwana wa skulu chimozi na boma Alice. We must know, Alice, that government depends on these taxes for it to provide quality services to its people. Quality services in health, quality services in education, infrastructure development. Government relies on taxes. So, if people are going to hold on to the money which they need to pay government, we must know that already the government will be affected in delivering its services to the people. Our people, Alice, our taxpayers out there must know that then you only receive 5,000 kwacha. Just think of it. You know, you get into confusion at home. That same applies to government. So government knows that every month we are supposed to be collecting these taxes. And if you decide not to pay, just know that you are going to put government in a panic mode for government to provide the services it needs to provide to its people. So really, government gets affected by these debts, and we should always remember as a people that when government is lacking, when government doesn't have the resources because they have not collected the taxes, then we must remember that even the services that we are going to receive as a people, as citizens of this nation, are going to be compromised because resources are not there. So yes, government greatly gets affected.
Okay. And how can a taxpayer avoid accruing debt with the government?
Excellent question, Alice. And like I did say early, that it is not in our interest as an institution to see that taxpayers are accruing debt and they end up start to avoid us. We want ZRA and the taxpayers to be friends, to be chatting the way we are chatting like this.
Yes.
That's what we want. Now, how do we enhance that cordial relationship between ZRA, between government and the taxpayers? All our taxpayers need to do is to be tax compliant. What is it to be tax compliant? It is to meet your tax obligations when they fall due, Alice. Our people out there must know kuti ni msonko bwanji wamene wanalembesa. Ndipo uyu msonko wamene wanalembesa ufunika kuperekeka kuboma pama deti ya bwanji. Bafunika kuziva. Bakaziva bamba nokonkhana naye ja timetable kuti uyu msonko wamene nilipo ine nifunika kulipira before 14 ero bakonkhana naye ja timetable so wazankhala na mavuto yaliyonse na boma. So all we are saying is that this debt we can avoid it as a taxpayer by just complying with the tax laws, and that compliance of tax laws comes with it by us registering for the correct taxes, by us making correct declarations, by us filing our returns on time, by us making payment of taxes on time. Then we can avoid taxpayers getting into this debt that we are talking about.
Okay. And for taxpayers genuinely facing overflow problems, how is ZRA helping such taxpayers?
Thank you. So here we are talking about our taxpayers that genuinely have cash flow challenges. Their businesses are not doing well, and yet they have got tax obligations that they need to meet. What are we doing as an institution to support them? Alice, we need to commend government through ZRA because we have not kept a blind eye to our taxpayers that are having cash flow challenges. What we are saying to our taxpayers is that come forward, let us look at the problems that you have. Alice, for your own information and for the benefit of our listeners and viewers out there, our taxpayers need to know that we have what we call a time to pay agreement. A time to pay agreement is a facility which government through ZRA has provided to taxpayers having cash flow challenges. So what is this facility, Alice? It is a facility where we are encouraging taxpayers to come to our office, to go to the debt recovery unit and sit down with our officers there and tell them to say, I understand the obligations that I have, and these are the Ngongoles, or these are the debts that I owe government, but then I am not able to pay them outrightly at the moment, and I am asking government if they can stagger these debts over a period of time. And our office, Alice, will look at the position of the taxpayer and advise them on how best those debts can be staggered. When we say staggered, where the debt can be broken down in bits which you can manage to pay. So we have a scheme called the tax, the TPA, yeah, where you are able to enter into with a ZRA, and your debts are staggered over a period of time. Why is this important? We will lessen the pressure on you, Alice, as a taxpayer, and instead of, let's say, paying 100,000 as a lump sum, it can be broken down into maybe you're paying 10,000 or 20,000 and you pay it in 5 months, other than paying it as a lump sum. So we have what we call a time to pay agreement, which is a TPA, a scheme, a facility which we have provided to taxpayers that have got cash flow challenges. Now, we're not saying we should be doing things deliberately. Even when you have got the ability to pay, then you say, no, because ZRA has got a facility where my Ngongoles can be staggered over a period of time. No, it means you are denying your government resources to meet its obligations. The Bible says, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. And if you owe government 20 pin and you have the 20 pin, pay it. That's what it is. That's what we expect. So we do have a scheme for our colleagues that may have challenges.
Okay. Your concluding remarks, Mr. Kumwenda, on debt recovery procedures.
Thank you very much, Alice. And thank you very much to all our viewers and listeners out there. First, I want to commend all of you that spare some time to join us on this platform. Keep it up. I also want to tell you that your institution, ZRA, remains committed to giving you information that is going to help you in your business activities. Why do we do this, Alice? I must tell you that pillar number 2 of our corporate strategic plan says taxpayer focus and collaboration, meaning that we are more focused on the needs of our taxpayers. What do we want to achieve under this pillar number 2, taxpayer focus, Alice? We want to see a citizen, we want to see a public that is knowledgeable on tax matters. Why should you be knowledgeable on tax matters, Alice? We know that when you have the information, when you have the knowledge, Alice, and our taxpayers out there, when they have the information, the knowledge, then they will be able to do the correct things on their own without us policing them. And so we want to tell you that we remain committed to providing you with information. And we are asking you that you will also do your part by complying and doing the correct things after having received the knowledge. And so on behalf of our institution, we are grateful for the opportunity given to us by Lumen, and we do hope that we shall continue partnering and we shall continue to ride on this platform and disseminate information to the public.
Okay. Well, Mr. Kuminda, thank you so much for sharing with us this important information.
It has been my pleasure, Alice, and thank you to all our listeners and viewers out there. Thank you.
We've come to the end of the show. Thank you for tuning in to Lumen TV and for watching Tax Chat. Remember, it's my tax,
your tax, our destiny.
Today, you probably helped save a life. Or perhaps helped keep a watchful eye on a neighborhood. Today, you probably helped put food on someone's table. Or help build a road that leads to a destiny. You may have even helped shape the minds of our future. By paying your taxes, you help keep critical medical staff in a job, a school to run, or a neighborhood safe, and a whole lot more. Your taxes help Zambia become better for you and me. Zambia Revenue Authority. My tax, your tax, our destiny.